is David Ferguson. I'm the head of the School of Divinity here in Edinburgh University, and it's my very great pleasure to welcome so many of you to this important event here this morning. It's a particular pleasure to welcome our very distinguished guest, His Holiness Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, a distinguished spiritual leader from South India. Well known in the fields of music, education and religion, His Holiness established in 1982 the Art of Living Foundation. This is an organisation that is dedicated to drawing people together from across different cultures and traditions. And in drawing attention to the practical wisdom that is shared by these cultures and traditions, His Holiness has performed a vital service to many people in our world today. He's a popular speaker throughout the world. He has visited, I'm told, over 140 different countries, which must be most of the countries in the world. And we're delighted that he's able to visit Scotland this summer. The subject of spirituality is one that has aroused a good deal of interest in popular culture, in the health sciences, and also in the field of education. His Holiness will speak to us this morning on the theme spirituality and education. And in welcoming him to New College, I invite him now to address us. Please welcome His Holiness Sri Sri Ravi Shankar.
Thank you. Thank you for such a warm welcome in the rainy day. You know, in India there is a proverb that says when it rains, that means God's so happy. Of course, here you may say it different. When it's sunshine, then the God's so happy. Anyway, I was told that this school is in existence since 15th century. The university and the divinity has been taught here for so long. Spirituality and education, are they compatible or are they poles apart? Now, what is spirituality? Let's see. So we are made up of both matter and spirit. Correct? The body is made up of amino acids, proteins, carbohydrates. But our spirit is made up of what? Understanding, studying, and applying that in our day-to-day life, I would call spirituality. Our spirit is made up of beauty, truth, love, compassion, awareness, service, attitude to serve, sense of belongingness. All that cannot be measured, that cannot be quantumized, I would call belongs to the spirit. Are they in loggerhead with each other, science and spirituality? I would say no. Because science is learning what this is, spirituality is knowing who am I. And they're complementary. Spirituality is that which uplifts the spirit, which keeps the enthusiasm in us high and makes us become child again. The purpose of education is to make us strong and potent individuals. A strength that crosses the dimension of both physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Are you asking? See, as I'm speaking, your mind says yes, no, Yes. Now there is a dialogue happening in your mind. Are you aware of it? There are two options. Either you agree with me or disagree with me. Whether you agree or disagree, are you aware that you are agreeing and disagreeing? This is the most important thing. That level of awareness that brings the shift in us to know that we are agreeing or we are disagreeing makes all the difference in our behavior, in our attitude, in our general attitude towards our society and ourselves. I feel the education had to make us so strong and powerful from within. Here, spirituality and education go very well together. Today, due to stress, there is a lot of frustration, especially among youths. In India, the most educated part of India, Kerala, had a lot of maximum suicidal rate in the country. Similarly, Finland, where the per capita income is the highest, has maximum suicide tendencies in people. What is the reason? Why do educated people commit suicide? And even big authors, well-known authors who write books about making friends and about all this, they all commit suicide. People who have written books on how to live happily have committed suicide. Lack of spirituality leaves you in a vacuum in which either you get frustrated or violent, frustrated and violent, or suicidal and depressed. And it's spirituality that can uplift people from these two extreme disastrous conditions: suicidal tendencies and depression, or violence and frustration. Frustration begins like with frustration, and then kids go into violence. You see this today, whether in US or other parts of the world. Children are so violent. School kids are violent. College, those who promote violence or advocate violence are looked up upon as heroes. Pride somehow wrongly got itself attached to violence. A compassionate, loving, a calm person cannot take pride in being calm. Isn't that so? Don't we see that? I feel that this is because that we have not given enough emphasis on human values or spiritual education, taught people how to handle their own emotions, how to handle the mind. We have not studied much about our spirit, who we are, what do we want. So the simple steps I would suggest is cosmology, study of cosmology. See your life in context with the vast universe. What our life is after all, 40, 50, 60, whatever years, 80 years, 90 years of life period. Seeing it in context with billions of years as possible. The planet has been in existence. So seeing life in that context, students and children don't go to commit suicide if they get low marks, or if they feel disappointed, if they fail in a subject, or had a tiff with their boyfriend or girlfriend. If their hearts are broken, they go and either kill somebody else or kill themselves. You know. This tendency we can reverse if we give them a broad-based spiritual education. Here, I make a distinction between religion and spirituality. I would say religion is the banana skin, spirituality is the banana, the substance. the scream of all religion is spirituality. In the world today, there are many suicide bombers, many people who indulge in violence in name of religion, thinking that's going to take them to heaven. And I think only they go to heaven, everybody else go to heaven. This is because they have not had a broad-based education. I would say that every child should know a little bit about all the wisdom in the world, all the knowledge of all the religions in the world. That would broaden, an ecumenical understanding will broaden the horizon. So a cosmic awareness comes around. I often ask children, see, we accept food from every part of the world. We accept music from every part of the world. We accept technology without any question. But why not wisdom too? It's time that we need to globalize wisdom. This I strongly felt it when I saw that Bamyana Buddhas were destroyed. I had so much compassion for those people because they never knew anything about Buddha. The kids never studied anything. Even if they had studied just a little bit about Buddha, they wouldn't have gone and destroyed the Bamyana Buddhas. So that education in which every child learns a little bit about other religions, traditions in the world, and start owning them all would make a big difference in the world. So cosmic awareness, number one. Second, compassion. And the third is commitment. Commitment to the service. Have a goal or commitment to serve the people around us, serving the people in the world. That brings us a sense of global family. The whole world as our own family. People from different parts of the world, different skin colors, different educational background, different faiths. We all can feel that we are one family. And I feel that is the aim of spiritual education. Spirituality is no spirituality if it doesn't make you a global citizen. See, the earth belongs to God, and if you are part of God, if you belong to God, the earth belongs to you. And everyone in the planet is part of you. And that's the aim of spiritual education, to give you such a broad outlook towards the world, towards life. And the name university itself indicates that universalism that gives you a universal awareness. Not just about matter, but about our planet as well. I know. Not just about the things that we study which are universal, but to create such sense of belongingness. On the feeling level also, we feel that universality, universe belongs to us and part of it. Sense of an emotional upliftment and a spiritual awakening, I feel is an integral part of education. Without that, we are just a computer with information. And universities need not create computers. It's not a factory. Universities are very brilliant, kind, beautiful human beings come out with a commitment to give a more beautiful world to the coming generation. Thank you. If you have some questions, I'll do.
Well, as His Holiness has indicated, he's willing to take questions and to enter into conversation with us. I know he has a busy schedule and is due early this afternoon in the Scottish Parliament, but I think we have at least half an hour for conversation and discussion, and I invite you now to take this opportunity of raising any questions with our guests.
The 3 words: information, knowledge, and wisdom. Could you explain something on the distinctive differences between these 3, the way they are perceived?
Information is the beginning. Knowledge, when that is well lodged in your system. Wisdom, when it's totally integrated in your life, and it cannot be separate from your life. That's wisdom. Well, you know, we give meaning to the words. This is one way to look at it. But there are many ways. You can give many different meanings to the same words. And whenever you ask for a difference, you have already made a difference. Do you get it? If you say, what is the difference between an apple and a banana? You have said it already. Apple is an apple and banana is a banana. It's we who give different meaning to different words. And what lies beneath that, which we cannot capture through words, is what we can feel. Yeah. That's why the words stop when it comes to expressing something so deep in you.
Thank you for your message, very reassuring. It seems I'm from India. We have very rich spiritual tradition and deep wisdom. My question is, this troubles me as an Indian, and I would like to have an answer from you. When can we Indians be delivered from having all these answers that we know everything about everything? Can be delivered from the indignities of poverty, like starvation, death, illiteracy, and so on and so forth. When we in India can be out of all this misery? What answer you have for this?
When people start doing service activities, you know, those who have should start sharing it with others, not just spend all the money that you earn on just yourself. Only then, and then second thing is to establish a sense of self-confidence in people. If you rob a person of his self-confidence, he becomes like a vegetable. You give him 10 opportunity to do something he doesn't want to do. He just wants to point out finger at somebody who has, you better give me, I don't have. You know, taking pride in poverty is a problem. This is the case in most of the developing countries throughout the world. There is low self-esteem among the youths. So they don't want to enter into a venture, entrepreneurship. We have worked on this level in India with many youths, as many as 300,000 youths. We trained them in the last 2.5 years. What we call as YLTP, Youth Leadership Training Program. Tell them, you take leadership amongst you, take responsibility for your life. You know, there are ample number of schemes that the government flows, the private sector gives, but that lethargy and sense of low self-esteem doesn't let them come forward. And we were able to do quite a bit of work. Can you imagine last 1 year we could adopt 21,000 villages in India. We could give them water. Another biggest menace is alcoholism. When a poor man also earns almost the same money as a white-collar person in a city, but he spends half that amount in alcohol, in drinking. He drinks and beats his wife in the night, and morning he apologizes. So this goes on. So we could do some work in that direction also to bring people, come out of alcoholism, tobacco, cigarettes, these things. So like that, we have to work. See, your question is, in spite of all spirituality, why India is still poor? I would tell you, just imagine, India has only 1/3 the land of America and 3 times the population of US. With 22 different languages, 600 dialects, so many religions, and such an old land which resources are always exploited and drained, and the land is very old, unlike America, which is new land. In spite of all this, if it's still existing as a country, is a miracle. It should have become like a former Yugoslavia long ago. And what still holds things there, and I'll tell you, even mental diseases are much, much lower there now in India. And people, even in village you go, there is certain amount of human values. People share, they may have just one loaf of bread, but they'll share half of that with you. So there are certain values, certain things that are there that one need to appreciate and uplift. At the same time, the world need to learn from every culture, from every way, something that's so beautiful. I would say, we need to be a global person, global citizen. We need to learn teamwork from Japanese, precision from Germans, marketing skills from Americans, decency from British, the decency in etiquettes and the way the British courtesies are. I think there's no other country in the world which has so courteous like Britain. And human values from India. Like that, we can pick up all the nice things from all over the world and we have to learn from each other. The sense to help each other in India among the poor people, I tell you, is tremendous. It's so wonderful. The poor person smiles and celebrates. Someone cannot understand how this man is happy. He just lives on a day-to-day basis, but you see a smile on his face, which you can't find, perhaps even in Europe. People are so tense and stressed in spite of having everything. So the concept of happiness and well-being is very different in different parts of the world. This is my experience.
Thank you for giving wisdom. A couple of days ago, one South Korean was killed by Iraqi militant. Now is in Korea is the sending soldier one is the very hot debate is going on. Do you have any wisdom to say to the Korean people? And at the same time, this Korean who was killed actually was doing missionary work in Iraq. Do you have any idea about the missionary works of religions in other cultures?
Missionary has two work. One is to bring social service to people. Second is to change their faith. If you simply do your service activity, there will be no problem. But if you try to change the faith of a person, that's where you get into trouble. Whenever you want to convert someone to some other faith, you are demeaning the faith that they are in. You are saying, your faith is no good, you better take this one, mine is better. Whenever someone says, mine is better, that he's simply exhibiting his or her own ignorance about the other faith. So I would say that we need to do service without any strings attached. And when we globalize the wisdom, that means every person can know from every other tradition without changing or without becoming a follower of that religion, I feel is the better way to look at things. Otherwise, there will be problem in the world as it has been and it will continue. What do you say?
I work in education, and this discussion is education spirituality. I've often wondered in the young if the teaching of philosophy, particularly moral philosophy, would be better than religious education, because religion has the word, rightly or wrongly, has divisive connotations. But the teaching of philosophy is the universal truths that you are discussing here, and has been taught since BC, with many of the ideas that you're discussing at the moment. Do you think it would be a move for the better?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what I say is a spiritual. Instead of philosophy, I use the word spiritual education. It's always better. But it's good to give them a broad spectrum of religious education also, so that they don't remain ignorant, and after 30 years, 40 years, they suddenly get a book or Bible or Quran or Zindavesta, something in their hand, and they find, oh, this is something new, and then their understanding then remains very fundamental and fanatic. So from the childhood, from the school days, if they know a little bit about all the religions, then nobody can mislead them in the later days. Because they will see, oh look, this is in this. A comparative studies. Not in depth it's impossible. But see, there are 10 major religions in the world. If we know a little bit about each one of them, the common thing or the differences in each of them, I think it'll enrich students' outlook towards life. See, we need to learn from Russia, where Russia completely sidelined religion, but it didn't succeed. People went back to it with all the more force, right? So it's better to not throw anything away, but just include and make a peace with everything.
Excuse me, but Russia also sidelined philosophy.
Right, yeah.
We have a question
One.
from the front row here.
Do you meet regularly with all other religious leaders?
Yeah, I keep attending whenever there is a possibility. In these conferences, interfaith dialogues, interfaith conference, I do meet.
Did you meet the Reverend Tam Moon of the Tamil Meditation yet?
Tam Moon?
Yeah, from Korea, when he established Unification Church in 1954. Did you meet him then?
I don't remember. If I have met him, I might have met him in the Millennium Peace Summit in New York. He was
Yes, that's
there.
right, he was there, yeah.
He was there, then I would have just met him. Yeah, there were a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
The philosophy is the most important thing. I feel that's what we all have to focus on.
You mentioned that you felt spirituality was about knowing who I am. And I wondered if I might have the temerity to ask you to share with us what you believe the most nourishing aspects of your own experience of yourself are.
You know, I'm just a child who refused to grow up. And I'm not going to grow up, I remain a child. And I feel at home anywhere I go, with all people, with everyone. I don't remember a moment where I didn't feel at home in anywhere I went in the world. I sometimes feel strange, but that is what it happened. Even when I go to my own headquarters, I don't feel any better or different than I am here now, today. This could be my home. I can just sit here. Right, you know? And from my side, I decided to feel that everybody is mine. I belong to everyone. Whether someone agrees or sees that way or it doesn't matter to me. If you know, when the mind becomes quiet, all the thought waves become quiet inside, you feel such a depth and expansion within you. It's like a feeling of center everywhere and circumference nowhere. And I feel it's quite natural and common for every one of us to have that feeling. As a child, we have done all. The purpose of yoga is to make us a child again. If you observe a kid from the age of, from the time it's born to the age of 3, it does all the yoga exercises. Have you observed? You know, a child first on the tummy puts the leg up. The child doesn't sleep like us. And then it goes on the tummy and then does the cobra pose. And it stands on one side and all the twists and turns and how the body muscles are used, joints are used, and the breathing pattern of a child anywhere in the world is the same, and that is what is yoga. And that helps the blood circulation, it helps our brain and the consciousness of our awareness, intelligence, everything to grow.
Back again.
I'm allowed, sorry. You have just said you saw the smile in the face of a poor. Even if he's poor, doesn't have food, he's happy. But rich people here in the West, so much money, are unhappy. But don't you see that's a very, very basic problem in India, to tell the poor, forget your hunger, keep smiling. And it's been that's your karma. And been born there. It's been going on for ages. Like some people who control everything, resources and everything, and tell to the poor, well, you are of that caste, you belong there, that's your, stay there, keep smiling and be happy.
No. Listen, by someone telling someone you be happy, they are not going to be happy.
But they know that's they are taught, that's their karma. They are outcasts and they are untouchables, and life is over for them. Christianity says that, don't worry, you will go to heaven. This is a journey you pass through. Don't worry about this world. That teaches the otherworldliness. Everything will be in heaven. And Hinduism teaches some castes are fixed, some people are fixed in their places, and don't worry about materialism and food and clothes and all that. Something like that.
I think many of these criticisms are because of not full knowledge. Hinduism has never said you are born into a caste, you are fixed. It said, Janmana jayate shudra, karmana dvija uchite. Everyone is born the shudra. Shudra means one who runs crying away. Karmana dvija, by your action, you qualify into different category of, I tell you, this is a wrong understanding. This is a wrong interpretation, and there are not enough preachers to tell people be happy. This is your poverty, be in the poverty, be happy. Nobody will listen. It's not possible. See, in US alone, 1 in every 4th child has to go to psychiatrist. This is a research. Have you heard about this? In the paper, 1 in every 4th child is seeing a psychiatrist. I mean, the problems are different in different places. It's not just you becoming rich, you can be happy. In Oxford, a professor had done a research, I don't remember his name unfortunately now. He said the happiest people in the world live in Bangladesh. There is no Hinduism in Bangladesh. But people are happiness and joy and wealth are not so much connected, though there is some connection. He put America in number 43 and Germany 46. It's a survey done by that. Don't think that only rich can be happy. There are poor people who can be happy. There are rich who are so miserable, so unhappy. Can't trust anybody, there is no value, there is no friendliness. This is what I'm saying. You have to see life in a broader perspective. Of course there are exploiters in the world. Exploiters are all everywhere. This is because lack of human values. If human values are there, compassion is there, love is there is always sharing. As philosophies are taught in people, then there is compassion. There is humanness. I would say it's not because of Hinduism, not because of Christianity. It's because of lack of human values. The society is suffering. Don't demean the great traditions in the world. They all had come up with great wisdom and knowledge and which can help the society in many ways. I mean, every tradition has contributed something good to the world. And we need to, of course there are some wrong things in every tradition here and there. People are exploiters in every way. But there is that saying, don't throw the baby with the bathwater. That's what.
Would you care to expand? You've just started with Janmanath Jayate Shudra Sanskara Dvichyate. The next line I think is Veda Paticha Vipra Brahma Jnana Brahmana. That would probably highlight the essence.
Yeah, one who has that big awareness, one who doesn't think about himself alone and works for everybody, is the Brahmin. They said in a family, a mother is a Brahmin because mother always cooks for everybody, doesn't bother whether the food is there for her or not. But the father is a Kshatriya, means a warrior. He gives to everybody, but he keeps himself so that he can give. And the children are Vaishyas, the children because they think what I gain, what I lose. They think about what do I get. And a father never thinks, what do I get? He wants to take care of the whole family. And the children who run all the time crying, they're called the Shudras.
We have time for one or two more questions or comments. I think there's about 10 minutes remaining, so who else would like to participate in the conversation?
There is a great artist in Spain called Tapies, I don't know if you have heard of him, whose work is painting, but it's based on philosophy of lack of dualism, and he counters the dualism of spirit and matter. So his work is matter paintings. What do you think about this long tradition of division of spirit from body, and do you think that losing that would help?
If you're a scientist, you can understand this better. You can understand philosophy only if you're a scientist. So there are molecular levels and there is atomic level. The molecular level is also true. Different molecules have different properties. But when you transcend and go to atomic level, everything is one. So duality is also true. And the Advaita other oneness is also true. It's only one. Non-dual aspect is also true. I don't see a conflict in that. So for your understanding, at one level you can say matter and spirit separate. It's an experiential reality. Then you move on to the existential reality, that is, there's only one thing.
When Mahatma Gandhi was asked what he thought of civilization, he replied it would be a good thing. And I wonder what you think of Western so-called civilization.
Western civilization has a scientific temper and it's moving ahead in the world and just to a great extent imbibing human values. The only drawback is the consumerism which has taken over the Western civilization, which is causing a lot of stress and depression, frustration among people. If we can handle these ills of greed and frustration, progressive aspect of Western civilizations is something that should be adopted by all the civilizations.
Thank you.
Well, I think we're just about out of time, but before we close, let me thank His Holiness very warmly for his visit today. It's been our great pleasure to host this lecture, and we thank you for your words of wisdom and for your willingness to enter into such a friendly conversation with a number of people here. We wish you well on the rest of your trip in Scotland, particularly as you visit the Scottish Parliament this afternoon. I think you've got a short break now for a snack lunch, but I know you have to get to the Parliament within the next hour. But we thank you for joining us this morning, and we wish you well on your travels throughout Scotland. Thank you very much.